This is gonna be a weird one. Okay, because I don't know how to write intros, and because I don't know how to put this any other way, I just am gonna come out and say Pokemon Go, from a gameplay standpoint, is incredibly boring. There's barely anything fun about sitting there and holding your finger down and waiting for a circle to get smaller and then flicking up on your phone. It's honestly not that much better than most iPhone and Android games that I've played in that aspect. It's not bad necessarily, but it's pretty boring. There's not much to the gameplay. It's walking around and poking stuff, and that's it. That's you tapping on your phone, and that's all. And right, I know, like, that's not what anybody cares to hear, that the game that's been such a huge phenomenon is boring and stuff. I think the gameplay is boring, sure, but as a tool, as like a social tool, it's absolutely unmatched. Have always been a firm believer in the power that video games have to bring people together. But unfortunately, kind of grown up where I grew up, and just the way that life has turned out, video games kind of felt like the only thing that I could ever have in common with people. And I know that's like the nerdiest thing, you know, just the geekiest thing to say, but it's true. I mean, I'm definitely not a sports player. I'm freaking 6'5" and I weigh 140 pounds. Man, this is good. This is gonna make me look awful. Everything I'm saying. Okay. I mean, I don't have very many hobbies. I've spent a whole lot of my life learning about video games and playing video games because that's the thing that I loved more than anything. And so it's really fun for me personally to see all these people come together to play a series that I know has been really great for a long time, if not a little bit overplayed. The thing is, about video games as a hobby, there's always a stigma, and I know it sounds ridiculous to be like, oh, I'm stigmatized because or prejudiced against because I play video games or whatever. Which is not necessarily what I'm saying, but what I mean from that is that it's hard for a video game enthusiast to find people that want to talk about games as much as them, and to find people that care about the same games as you and have the same platforms and can have this same passion. Now, I don't want to say I've been bullied necessarily. I'm not a survivor of anything really. What I'm trying to say is I know very well what it means and how it feels to have something that you care about that other people just don't. And I know very well what it feels like to be kind of lonely and ostracized in that regard. I should have written this down, but I wanted it to be a little more honest. When I go outside and I see people interacting that would never be interacting before, that proves to me that Pokemon Go is worth something, and it's worth something way more than just being a free app on a mobile game store. When I see stories about autistic kids looking people in the eye for the first time and interacting with people because of this game, and when I see stories of dog pounds who need to buy more leashes because there are too many people walking their dogs to go and catch Pokemon with them, and when I see stories of children's hospitals and restaurants and college campuses all gathering together just to play this game, it solidifies my theory about video games and the power that they've always had. When I see the CEO of EA come out on stage during E3 and say, we're gonna change the world because of the new FIFA game, I have a tendency not to believe that. They're video games. I'm very aware that video games have this tendency to be looked down on as like children's playthings, but when you have groups of people ranging from 8 years old to 50 playing this game together and being able to interact and talk about it, that's what changes the world to me. I don't believe that video games can change the world by releasing the 14 millionth installment of FIFA. I think video games can change the world when you give someone and someone else something to talk about together and to do together. You kind of level the field for people and open the door for conversation. You know what, even if the conversations that are getting started are 30 seconds long and have nothing to do with anything except Pokemon, at least that's better than having nothing at all. And in that regard, I think Pokemon Go is going to change the world, and has changed the world. I mean, I have hundreds of multiplayer games on my computer and sitting back there that I have never played with anybody. But for the first time in my life, I'm getting texts from my mom and my siblings and my friends' siblings and people that I barely know asking if I want to go take a gym with them tonight, or asking if I want to go and hunt for some Pokemon and just, you know, take a little walk together. And I think that's where the power of Pokemon Go is. And maybe I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I should, but I mean, this is the first video game that my mom has ever texted me asking me if I wanted to play. It's an underwhelming game, but as a social tool, I don't think there's anything better. Alright, I'm gonna go get some food. Thank you for watching.